Hello everybody and welcome to the Final Plan, the show each and every Friday where James and I run down our final thoughts before the end of the game week or beginning of the game week, end of the gap between the game weeks, you know what I mean?
We knew.
Game week 27, I'm Suj.
I'm James.
Happy birthday, James.
Thank
For
you,
everybody
sir.
listening, tweet at PlanetFPL pod, say happy 40th or...
Whoa.
Not
Easy.
quite.
36 for those asking.
36, eh?
Yeah, you get to that stage in life where all you do is you count back from the year you were born. You don't actually know
try
anymore.
and figure it out, yeah. So, it's game week 17. It's the last game week before the Liverblank. Rolling in, you got two free... did you have two or one free transfer?
2 free transfers, and they have both been used.
Okay, and you have sold already.
I sold Benjamin Mendy about 4 weeks too late, but last Sunday night for Martin Kelly, who I'd bought at 4.2. And I made my other transfer after some deliberation on Tuesday night before travelling to Deutschland, which was selling Gabriel Jesus to Marcus Rashford.
That must leave you a fair amount of money in the bank, sir.
It has left me 2.2 million in the bank. If there's anything on the team news today that I don't like, I will take a hit and amend that. But I think it's more likely I will either wildcard tomorrow, obviously once the game week started, or take probably a -4 going into game week 18. I'm conscious of, there's two ways of looking at it. One is I don't know if I'm going to get the gains on game week 18. It doesn't feel like the right week to wildcard to me. But I can get in sort of a team that's going to run me through Christmas earlier. So, get in Spurs assets, maybe add Martial to Rashford, for example, perhaps even a United defensive asset. I think United Spurs, once we get beyond game week 18, look quite nice for the Christmas period. I obviously had quite a bit of success going in on United Christmas time last year. The flip of that is I probably want to see it first. Watch them on Sunday in a game that they're less likely to be able to counter-attack. If you think of how Everton played at Leicester. I mean, forget the game at Liverpool is a different beast. For whatever reason, it became very open. But we saw the way, obviously, they countered at Leicester. And will Everton try and deploy similar tactics? I don't think formation-wise, but in terms of stylistic, might try and deploy something similar at United on Sunday. And that makes me feel like I might want to wait to see that first, which means I'm probably not going to wildcard tomorrow. What it does mean is I'm going to be going into game week 18 with a load of players playing away from home. Because of my 10 outfield players tomorrow, 9 of them are at home. Although 3 of them are obviously Liverpool assets.
What was the reasoning on Jesus to Rashford? Because it's quite a big call. We don't know anything about Aguero yet, necessarily.
Yeah, I took the decision to go for it. The number one reason is I know he's going to be my game week 18 captain away to Watford on the Sunday. So I took the decision to get him in with a fixture this week. I don't think there's a lot in it this weekend between Rashford at home to Everton and Jesus away to Arsenal. At the time of recording, we don't know if Aguero is available again. The fact that Jesus played and scored a hat-trick for City in the Champions League would make me somewhat nervous that Aguero is probably very close to fitness. And had I perhaps not made the transfer, then if you consider I've got people like Lundstrom on 4 yellows at the moment, that I might need to suddenly then I might have been forced into a wild card situation. So I think getting in the player that I know that I definitely want to cover that captaincy in game week 18 was the right move for me. It won't be for everyone. I don't suppose there's probably not too many listeners who made that Jesus gamble like I did.
No.
Where are you at?
I have yellow flags on Yarmolenko and Edison this week, and I have 2 free transfers. Now, I have no intention of selling Yarmolenko. I have intention of selling Yarmolenko, but I'm like you. I obviously want Marcus Rashford at the moment. I've got Vardy and Jimenez up front. I'm not going to sell either of those 2 for Rashford, although it may need to be Jimenez that I sacrifice for Marcus Rashford just because of funds and budget. I've got 2 free transfers, like I said, and I want to have 2 free transfers going into game week 18 in case there is issues around yellow cards. I've got Lundstrom who's on 4 yellow cards at the moment. He may get himself suspended. I don't think anyone else in my squad is on 4 yellows, but I've got Lundstrom who's at risk at the moment. Is Rico on 4 yellows? I've got a sneaky that Rico's on 4 yellows.
I think he's close, actually.
Yeah. So I want to make sure that I have that option and coverage. Yeah, 4 yellows for our friend Rico. No, yeah, 4 yellows for Rico as well. So yeah, I don't feel comfortable using both. I've got 1.2 million in the bank. It may be Edison that I get rid of this week. I don't think there's any. I haven't got an easy choice on who to go to though. Gator's gone up to 5.1 million. He's maybe one of the most reliable. Henderson cheaper, 4.7. I wish there was a good 4.5 keeper that I could go to, but there isn't really. So it may end up being Henderson, and then I'll have a Sheffield United double up.
You might argue that mine's got a good little run. Tom Heaton, Sheffield United away, Southampton at home. I think it might then be Norwich afterwards. I'll confirm that.
Yeah, their next 5 are decent, which takes them
It
up to
Norwich
12th of
at
January.
home,
And then they
Watford
got
away,
City.
Burnley away.
Yeah.
Might be a stopgap for you in terms of playing. Let's call them Big 7 opposition and put Leicester in. It plays City at home game week 22, Tottenham at home game week 26. And actually, that's it. However, obviously, Tyrone Mings has picked up a hamstring injury. We think Target might be injured as well. I think Mings out of there is a massive blow for Villa.
Yep.
But I think probably from that area of price, if you wanted to go 4.5, I'd still go Tom Heaton. Actually, for me, coming out the wild card, I might still have him.
Yeah.
Whether I do it 18, 19, 20.
Because
I
so many
might
others
still have
are quite expensive. Agreed.
I'd just rather not fuss about the value with the goalkeeper. I think the money you've got tied up there with Edison is really restricting you.
Yep.
The best immediate choice is Gator, though.
Yeah, he's just too expensive. Heaton, so Edison to Heaton, followed by Maupay to Rashford, only leaves me 4.5 million for my 5th midfielder, who's actually also my 3rd choice substitute. And at that point, could be anyone.
The flip of that, though, is Palace have also now got defensive injuries. So we know Joe Ward's probably going to be out to probably about mid-Jan. And obviously Martin Kelly's covering there. Cahill and Dan have both been covering knocks. Cahill played at Watford. Tompkins is available. Jeffrey Schlupp is now added to the injury list at left back on top of PVA's injury. So we really don't know who's going to play left back for Palace tomorrow. I suspect they might even move Martin Kelly to that side.
Yep.
And Hodgson suggested yesterday in the presser that there were more injuries, but he didn't want to divulge, which has got a few people worried that Wilfried Zaha might well
injured.
be. I mean, the game's not till Monday, so it'll be what it'll be.
Yep.
But the fact that he didn't want to divulge has made people instantly go, oh, is it Zaha? So there is more injuries at Palace, and we ain't going to get confirmation of what they are.
Yep.
I guess Martin Kelly could be one.
That's true. If I make the moves this week, then obviously I am kind of sort of covered, but I don't really want to do it. I would rather roll. But
I think you're right for you.
the only thing is then the value, because I am tight on budget. Like getting Heaton and Rashford in and then filling in Dendonka leaves me only 0.1 in the bank, which is not enough. So I'll probably make the Edison move this week and try and cross my fingers for the others and see where I get to. Having said that, Rashford's got a good fixture this week at home to Everton, and he is your captain next week as well. I agree with you on that. So
the one that's annoying for me is I think I'm just short of like IU to Jimenez, for example.
Yeah.
The ones that you think, oh, is it worth the hit? But then I still look at that and go, I'm like, do I want to take a hit to get Jimenez in before playing Spurs? I don't know if it's right. I'm looking at all the other
you're leaky at the
midfielders
back.
I might want.
Another 3 goals conceded this week.
Yeah, I mean, no judge on Wednesday night in Munchen, other than Dyer and Sissoko and the goalkeeper have changed. Oh, and Alderweireld have changed the team completely, right? Jose won't have learned a lot from that Wednesday night. Excuse me. I think all he would have learned Wednesday night was he doesn't want to play Lucas or Son through the middle. I think he looked at Lucas for an hour and looked for Son for a half hour in that position. Both did okay, but I don't think it's something Jose wants to particularly look at. I think he'll have learned that those on the fringes, people like Kyle Walker-Peters, Danny Rose, Eriksen, my God, Christian Eriksen got some stick, not going to be putting an immediate threat on the first team at the moment.
Yeah.
I think the only positive from those who played was Juan Foyt played quite well at centre half. Would have been the one positive from those who played who wouldn't normally, which gives an additional option in defensive areas. I presume Serge Aurier went off injured at the weekend against Burnley. I presume the message from Tottenham was that he'd not been taken but would train at Tottenham on Wednesday with Vertonghen, Ali and Kane, who also didn't travel. So I presume that he remains fit for the trip to Wolves.
Yep. Captaincy this week is pretty straightforward.
Is it?
James
Yeah,
and
no,
Vardy.
it definitely is, in my opinion.
Away at Norwich.
At home to Norwich.
Oh, sorry, at home to Norwich. Even better. On fire, leaky defence. Everybody else is going to be captaining him, so you kind of...
I don't know. I feel like with that Liverpool fixture, there might be a bit of movement. I've seen people... Obviously, Salah scored an unbelievable goal in Salzburg on Tuesday night. And he also missed a few that you would have really fancied him to bury as well. And I've seen a few already going, oh yeah, he's back. He's at his peak again. Get him in, captain him. I mean, I do not see the foresight of buying any Liverpool players for your...
Not now.
We might buy one for the differential team, to contradict myself in a minute. But generally for your team, like I can't... For the one game, and then you walk back into Leicester afterwards. I think you've got what you've got. Stay with that, and then make a decision afterwards in terms of whether you're holding through or you want to sell. What do we think on Liverpool assets generally for people? Is it
don't buy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't buy for sure.
If you only had, say, Alexander-Arnold, for example, it wouldn't be worth getting a Mane or Salah in for that game tomorrow.
No.
I agree.
No.
And I think
not for 1 week. There's too much.
I think one of the reasons for that as well is we have no idea, like literally no idea what we'll get from Watford. Nigel Pearson's first
new
game,
manager,
right?
First bounce, all that.
So it's nothing to judge again. We know obviously they're a weak side, but they're capable of being a powerful side with sort of the strength through the spine. I see Craig Dawson's still out. That was a bit of a blow. But yeah, I wouldn't be buying Liverpool for tomorrow.
No. The other thing is, in a strange way, it would be quite nice if Trent gets booked tomorrow. It makes the decision to sell him quite easy, because then you've now got 2 game weeks where you're not going to get him 18 and 19. So in a strange way, you know,
correctly pointed out by our stato at FPL Canal yesterday, and this is interesting. I don't think there's anything in this, but it's interesting. So if Trent gets booked tomorrow, he misses the Leicester fixture, which is game week 19. Is that
correct?
Right, Suj? Yep.
He'll be back for Wolves.
If he gets booked twice, he'll miss the League Cup game at Aston Villa, which we know that there's no chance of him playing in because he's in the squad that's going to Qatar that plays its semi-final on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a situation where Liverpool are 3 or 4-0 up and he's on a booking and Liverpool try and manipulate that?
What, that he gets a suspension for a forced red card?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think that would happen.
I don't think so. I think in terms of, there's been a lot of talk on Liverpool in terms of rotation tomorrow. I wouldn't expect a lot. Look, the team that they play in Qatar on Wednesday, we don't know who it is yet, is going to be pretty lightweight. Mm-hmm. Like Liverpool are going to be 90-95% favourites. So I would see if there was any concerns, there'd more likely to be some rotation. Now, I don't think there'll be any. It's Saturday to Wednesday, and then the final is on the Sunday, I believe.
Sunday.
Before then, the Leicester on the Thursday. I don't particularly expect to see much rotation from Liverpool. I think in defensive areas, there's not a huge amount of options. Lovren was injured, but then back. Obviously, it's Joe Gomez as well. I don't see that you can obviously play Milner at left back. I don't think he wants to play around with the midfield too much with Fabinho's injury. So Henderson's obviously sitting in there at the moment. I don't see mass rotation. Well, I don't particularly see the threat of rotation with Liverpool like we've had over the last couple of weeks, personally. Mm-hmm. I think it's go and make a statement before going away, make sure that advantage is still held in the way it should be. Because Leicester will obviously hope that by the time Liverpool come back into game week 19, that difference is less than what it is now.
Yeah, 5 points or whatever.
Leicester need it to be, which means taking something at Man City in game week 18.
Yep, there we go with that. Talk to me about the differential team. We need to sell Heung-min Son, do we?
Yep.
His ownership keeps rising.
Our differential team is we can only buy at owned under 10% ownership, and we have to sell if players hit 20% ownership. Our overall rank is 927,000 currently, after a 56-point game week last week, starring Heung-min Son, who was our captain for a 24-point return. Also had points from Ali, Serge Aurier, and Alisson. That was it, actually. So it really was all the Spurs
boys returning.
Delivered a decent week for us.
Yeah.
So
the bench is a bit of a problem here.
Well, we have got some issues. So Charlie Taylor is very doubtful. I think when he's fit, he'll be back in the team for Burnley because they've had problems without him. Bellerin obviously was picked for West Ham, the West Ham fixture Monday night, pulled up in the warm-up.
He rolled his ankle or something.
And Connolly was unavailable for Brighton in the Wolves fixture. Now, at the moment, we don't really know where we stand with any of those three. But obviously, we have to sell Son. So I've got a few players to suggest for you, Suj.
How much money do we have in the bank? 0.7.
0.7. Money's not an issue, right? Because we're selling Sons. We can only buy it cheaper anyway.
Right.
Another issue we particularly have at the moment is with the forwards. So Jesus and Lacazette has been all right for us. But Lacazette, after Monday night, you get the feeling he's not in that team at the moment. Obviously played for Arsenal in Europa last night. And we don't know how long Jesus is going to last for either. Obviously dependent on Aguero's fitness. So I'm thinking we should be looking at removing Lacazette as well as Son.
So you want to go 3? Well, we need to we need to fix up that bench though. That's the problem.
But if we make those 2 transfers, we're okay for this week.
Okay. So Heung-min Son goes. I would have suggested off the bat Anthony Martial.
There are 3 people I've put on the watch list. 2 of them are players we've sold in this team very recently. Anthony Martial is one of them. Mm-hmm. The other 2 are Richarlison.
Yep.
And Jack Grealish.
Excuse me. I like Grealish, but we've got money to spend, and I think United are going to go on a nice little run between now and Christmas. I feel Martial is the best option. It also means we can captain him next week in game week 18 potentially.
Yep, I agree with that. There's also the issue of the 4 yellow cards around Jack Grealish as well, which with the bench is looking a bit dodged for us at the moment, which I feel like we should try and avoid. So Anthony Martial, I'm in agreement with.
Gives us now 4 million in the bank, give or take.
Gives us attacking United coverage. Obviously, we can't have Rashford in this team.
Nah.
Gives attacking coverage for Everton at home, Watford away, Newcastle at home, Burnley away, Arsenal away, Norwich at home.
Plenty.
It's a good run. I think Martial's the right choice for us here.
Yes.
Okay, fine. He'll be injured next week, I'm sure. Now, if we want to go away from Lacazette, the obvious one is Firmino. Now, this goes against everything that I just said in terms of getting Liverpool assets in. It's 9.1% ownership.
Yeah, I think a lot of that will be dead teams.
Now, we could get him in for this tomorrow and captain him. That's part why there's a little difference in this for us as well. And then we've got him on the other side ready to go.
I'm not convinced by Firmino because I just don't see him as a big FPL point scoring player.
Okay, but he'll have a spell when he a 4 or 5 game week
at
some point.
And I remember Sam.
And it's always when his ownership dies as well.
Sam from Family was saying Christmas is Firmino's time, and I don't have enough evidence to argue with it. I was going to suggest Iheanacho maybe because he's at 0.4% ownership. Is he going to get into the team?
I don't know. I don't know if that was something they used just to try and exploit Aston Villa last weekend.
And then he won't get it. If he was going to start week in, week out, I'd get him at 5.4 million straight away to get that Leicester kind of coverage into the team.
There are 4 other forwards that I would recommend, and they're all obviously a lot cheaper, which is going to mean leaving quite a bit of money in the bank here. We'll start from the cheapest. Martinelli, 4.5 million. Doesn't feel the right week to buy him with City at home, but I think he's worth a mention because at that price he's going to be potentially a very good third forward for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Essentially, he looks to me like Almiron, but can score goals. That's no, he's lively. He's quite un-Arsenal like in the fact
he's a very good player.
He's busy, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's busy.
He was active on the left. Yeah.
Lys Mousset, we both like. I'm concerned about injury record and rotation over this period, but next 3 Villa, Brighton, Watford appeals.
He's fit again now. He's not got the flag on him. I only bought him in last week. I feel bad selling him for Rashford without even giving him a little bit of a chance in the team. So at least Maupay is not going anywhere.
Or going up, and this is getting closer and closer towards my preferences here. Neil Maupay, 5.8 million.
Yep.
64 FPL points so far this season. That's 8 more than Maupay, despite that unbelievable run Maupay had from Gameweek 9, I think. And my preference here, if not Firmino, Diogo Jota. Hat-trick in 10 minutes for Wolves last night in Europa League. 2 goals at Brighton last weekend. He's been so underwhelming this season. Bradley's been telling me, you know Bradley loves him. Bradley Parker, Wolves correspondent.
Correct.
He's been in my ear for a little while going, it's coming, James.
I think from my perspective, when I saw him, I think Jota's just been unlucky in the sense that everything's not quite come off in the way that it did last season. You need a little bit of luck in football, right? You can play as well as you can. I think he's been getting in the right positions. Even against West Ham, he was scoring and creating chances. I don't mind Jota. I would have said of that list, the ones that interest me most were Maupay and Jota. And Maupay would have been my first choice, but there's a cigarette paper between Maupay and Jota. I mean, base it on fixtures. I'm not sure what Brighton's run's like. Let's have a look.
Brighton's okay. It's better than Wolves. Wolves' next 4 is Tottenham, Norwich, Man City, Liverpool.
Yes, but for a side like Wolves, that's less relevant, isn't it? Because they like to play on the counter-attack. They're through in the Europa League. There's no Europa League football now until, mid-January, end of January, something like that?
No, sort of mid-Feb.
Oh, mid-Feb. So they've got a real nice run where they don't rotate
It's
at
not
the best
great.
times.
It's not a nice run of fixtures, though. That period that they're not playing in Europa. Then after Liverpool, they have 3 nice fixtures, game weeks 21 and 23, and then it's Liverpool, United, Leicester, and then Norwich and Tottenham the reverse again. That takes them up to the end of February.
Yeah.
With Jota, once he goes in, he's going to stay in, I think. I don't know if it's the right call. I want to go Firmino.
Oh, I think Maupay. But if we've got the money, maybe Firmino might be a good shout.
I want to go Firmino and I want to captain him.
That's just bold. I hate captaining a player in the 12:30 Saturday game. I hate it because then once it's done, right?
Yeah. It's only the differential team.
Yeah, true. All right, go on.
So
Firmino.
we go Son to Martial, Lacazette to Firmino for a -4. And then we can leave Taylor, Bellerin and Connolly on the bench.
And leave Jesus for now.
Leave Jesus as vice, I think.
Fine. That makes sense.
We would line up then with Alisson, Doherty, Aurier, Chilwell, Zaha, Pulisic, Tielemans, Ali, Martial, Firmino, captain with Jesus.
That works fine.
It's been doing all right.
Yep.
It's been doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, North v South, mate. How was your week?
39 points did I get? Let's have a look. I think I scored 39 points. Correct. Yeah. So it was a bang average. I decided to do a James.
What's that?
I captained Jesus instead of Vardy. I thought, you know what? I've got enough of a lead that it's worth taking a punt on this. Ended up not paying off, but my front line is Vardy, Jesus and Rashford. So I'm not worried too much about that. I'll be moving the armband back to Vardy. Mane obviously got benched, and I had blanks everywhere apart from Robertson. Pope's a bit of a problem in goal, but I mean, look, Lundstram, Trent, and Robbo. It's not a bad back 3. Mane and De Bruyne in the middle. Jesus, Vardy, Rashford up front.
Had you been Saint Maximin?
Yeah, I binned him for Cantwell.
He's out for about 6 weeks.
Yeah. Because he was injured, I got rid of him. So I bought in Cantwell because he was the best cheap option there at that price. I think I will start making some manoeuvring around now. I'll probably lose one of my Liverpool 2 at the back in Robertson and Trent just to free up some money to redeploy elsewhere. But other than that, look, you had a great week coming off your wild card, as you would expect and want to. You're just not going to get Spurs winning 5-0 every week, unfortunately. So
no, that's fine. I did wild card. I did basically not far off half the deficit.
Yep.
It's down to just under 50 points difference now, I think. 80 points off a wild card. had the same three that we had in our differential team: Ali, Son, Aurea, Aubameyang, goal and assist up front, Ings, goal, clean sheets for Martin Kelly, Gator got me to 80. Yeah, I really needed it. I mean, I'm pleased
That's a
because
good game
it
week
meant
rank 244.
I mean, it's what you want of a wild card, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily always work out that way. So nice to have that spring. I obviously did get the timing right on this for a change. So yeah, the gap's less now, mate. I've got cover squad-wise. I've got no ringers in this squad, basically. I'm covered for the Christmas period. A couple of injury doubts in Tomori and Target. But if I have to run again with Aurea, Kelly, Dunk, that's what I'll be running with again. I think captain for me this week in that would be Tammy Abraham.
Tammy Abraham. I'm going with Vardy this week and moving it from Jesus. I may even sell Kevin De Bruyne in this side. I've got a lot of players that I can potentially go to that I haven't utilised because I've got so much money tied up in Mane and De Bruyne and 2 7 million plus defenders and Jesus. So I should spread the money a little bit more.
Talking about De Bruyne opens up another very interesting conversation because De Bruyne to Son is quite a hot topic at the moment. What's your thoughts on that?
Don't do it. Look, I'm in a luxury position of having both, right? So I don't really have to make that decision. Anyone that does it, Son is a great player, I think, because he plays pretty much as a second striker or coming in as a wide striker or whatever you want to position, inside forward. Is that a good phrase? I don't know.
He's playing left wing, mate.
He's scoring goals, is what he's doing. And so, yeah, you can't argue with that. But Kevin De Bruyne, moving away from him at any point can just slap you. You really can. I'm not for that move. Most people have got him at 9.5, 9.6, 9.7. He's 10.3 now. Doesn't make sense to lose all of that value.
10.2 and still dropping.
He's fallen now, eh?
Could well be 10.1 before we.
So he is allowed to fall in price. I thought it was codified in that he doesn't drop in price.
And Tammy Abraham. There's obviously something linked there to players returning from injury or something.
Yeah, Tom Cantle made a good point on the Who Got the Assist pod that after the game week starts tomorrow, all the Liverpool players will be red flagged because they'll have no fixture and therefore they can't drop in price.
No, that's not correct.
Beef it out with him tonight at the meetup. He said when they're red flagged, they cannot drop in price till they become available again. So everyone that sells them between now and the end of 18, they cannot drop in price.
So we're saying that players with red flags can't drop in price? Well, of course they can.
I don't know. I'm not the master of the rules at FPL, but that's what Tom was saying. So we'll have to tweet him. Tom, what's happening?
They'll certainly drop in price. I think it's when they then become available again, which presumably will be reset at some point next Saturday.
Yeah, as soon as the game reopens again, that's when they become available.
Should reset. Probably whatever they've been transferred out on the Saturday and that will be discounted. They'll be reset to kind of a zero value. I think that's probably more the point. So it probably won't drop as... Tom's not wrong. They probably won't drop as much as what you'd expect. Can they drop value between now and next Saturday? Yeah, absolutely.
Between now and next Saturday, I'd be interested to know because there is this price locking thing and would be interesting to know.
I will be listening to that podcast later today. I'll send me and Tom, we'll have a chat later and we'll... let me get Tom on a stream tonight, see if I can do that.
Yeah. The reason James mentions that is because there's the FPL meetup tonight. Anyone that gets to listen to this before 6 p.m. on the Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th, bad shit's going to happen today. It's your birthday, some bad shit's going to happen today.
I'm going to wake up tomorrow with a fucking hangover.
That's what's going to happen. Let's see that. So North v South will be interesting this week. See if you can really close the gap again or if Liverpool really do well against Watford and Leicester do well against Norwich. I've got two teams against the bottom two teams at home. This has got to be fill your boots time, surely.
Should be.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we'll be looking at. Anything else to add this week?
No, good luck, everybody. I think we're all in agreement. This is probably not the weekend to go against Jamie Vardy.
No.
I've tried it. It doesn't really work.
No.
But this week really doesn't feel like, even with that Liverpool fixture, it just doesn't feel quite right. Look, if you've got the cojones to go with Mane or Salah, like good luck. There's every chance that you'll be right. Mm-hmm. Every chance. I just think personally there's a little bit unknown about Watford that would put me off. I think you know exactly what you're going to get from Norwich.
Yep.
And that's not scary.
No. Other than that, we'll be back next week with more Planet FPL main podcast one of the days. We've got Clash of the Correspondents again next week. We've got the usual Sky FF. I haven't planned out my Sky yet, but I'm going to be doing that this afternoon.
Monday's people poll will be very FPL focused towards.
Are we not
going to
do a poll on who did you vote for and just give all 4 parties as an option?
Jeez. Let's not do that.
Okay.
Yes, the important poll will go out Sunday afternoon after Arsenal against Manchester City. I'll be in a pub watching that somewhere in Birmingham, actually, because I'm going up to Wolves on Sunday.
Yeah.
Poll will go out after that. It will be very FPL focused ahead of planning for Game Week 18 next week. Main podcast Monday night, either probably after Palace and Brighton, I would have thought. Tuesday will be Tottenham. We'll talk a little bit about if there was any difference in Spurs at Bayern in the week, and obviously the performance at Wolves on Sunday. You've got Southampton away on Tuesday. Wednesday will be Sky. Thursday's Clash of the Correspondents is one I've really been looking forward to because stylistically I think it's a really interesting one to go into. We'll have FPL Seagull, our Brighton correspondent, and FPL Blade Tomo, our Sheffield United correspondent, ahead of their clash in Game Week 18. And I think that the two sides as well that people may be looking at in terms of some budget options, people like Maupay, Baldock are really appearing now as possible interest from both sides. And Friday we'll be back with some sort of final plan for a very challenging Game Week 18.
Indeed. There we go. Do stay tuned. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, notification bell, put comments in the comments wherever you can on YouTube and all of that other stuff that people are supposed to do. Other than that, have a great FPL weekend. Enjoy today's Christmas jumper day, so enjoy the meetup if you're going to be there. We'll hopefully
if you're
bump into
in the
then.
London area and you're at a loose end tonight, mate, there's some FPL royalty coming to this tonight. We think the General's coming. She's obviously being hosted by Tom and Nick and Will from Hub. We think the General's coming. Adam Hopcroft's coming. Iceman's coming from surgery. A few of our correspondents are coming. There's loads of people in this community are coming. It's going to be... Tom has got no idea how many people are coming, I don't think.
Nah, he needs to start, even if it's just whacking it on Eventbrite, to keep an idea on numbers.
I think it'll be 100. I really do.
Yeah, me too.
At various points. Are Lee and Sam coming?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. The King and Queen of FPL will be there. Who else is coming down? 2 Guys, 1 Cup. Sham said he's coming down late. I think Ron Weasley.
We're going to feel bad. We shouldn't go through a list. We'll feel bad for forgetting people.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot.
There's a few guys who listen to us, like Flapjack, who are making an appearance.
SOS.
Yeah, SOS.
With Wolfpack lot. Yeah, there's going to be plenty.
So really looking forward to meeting these guys.
Yes, do tweet us. Tweet me at Suj James or at James at PlanetFPL Pod if you are coming down, just so we know to keep an eye out, and we want to make sure we say hello to as many people as possible. Other than that, enjoy your weekend. Ciao for now.
Cue music, man, child.